Hey all, John aka Whisky and Sound, and I'm back with another episode of Boilermaker Mondays. Now, I did have in store from last week with all three videos to lead up to tonight's episode, which the goal was going to be to get my hands on some of the Midwinter Night Stram and then do a Boilermaker with that. Unfortunately, because our current lockdown situation just seems to keep getting better and better in Melbourne, so I was unable to obtain myself a pour of that particular dram. So I unfortunately will not be reviewing that. But there is something else which I'll be reviewing, which just rocked up on my doorstep, which I've been hanging to get my hands on, and that is Lark's epic Wolf of the Willows collaboration Boilermaker version 4.0. Now, this has been one that I've been following since the last two. I never got a chance to try the first round, and I was fortunate enough back in 2019 to try the 2.0 Boilermaker pairing at the Lark Bar down in in Hobart, and that Boilermaker pairing was so savory and chocolatey and very just rich, super rich, and that whiskey just went well with it as well. I am shattered I never got a bottling of that for myself. It got snapped up pretty quick, so that was, and the beer is long gone, and that was an absolute beast. I remember with these particular beers. So the deal with these Lark barrel-aged Imperial Smoke Porters is Wolf of the Willows gets a 100-litre Lark barrel, which they pick themselves, and then whatever barrel that they're content with, they will stick the Imperial JSP into the barrel for 9 months, barrel age it, and then empty it out, send the barrels back to Lark, and then they come out with the following whiskey afterwards. So that, which I think ends up being a 12 months finishing program on the whiskey once it's gone into the beer barrel aged, or the beer finished barrels, I should say, or you know what I mean. Can't talk at the moment. I've been hanging for this Boilermaker, so I'm gonna start pouring this bad boy. So now this comes in at a not to be sniffed at amounts of 11.8%. Now, funnily enough, it's actually gone down in the ABV, because one thing I heavily recall about the second release of the Wolf of the Willows Barrel Age JSP is that it was a monstrous 13.8. So it was knocking on 14's door. Wasn't quite there. Behave, you. Please behave. Just take it easy. Don't move a muscle. Oh, damn it. We're on the end. That'd be about right. Anyway, Wolf of the Willow JSP Volume 2, or Version 2, was 13.8. The 3.0 was dropped down to 12.8, and that was still a very fun beer. Big beer, but a fun beer nevertheless. Not as in-your-face savoury. It was definitely smoky and complex, but there was just something about that second release that was just big. Everything about it was big. The whiskey that went back with it was big. And then it went, like the whiskey that went out with the 3.0 come from the Bothwell distillery, Nant. And that is also where this one has come from, which is 4.0. Now, I like the cool little setup that they got for the 100 litres, which I think is enough for me to get my hands on a 4-pack and enjoy that. So either way, either way I cut it, it's going to be a big Boilermaker pairing. And they've kept the recipe as well with the beers pretty consistent using the East. Let's see if I can get this right. I think it's called East Kent Goldings hops, which is like England's choice of hops for ale, like pale ales and lagers over there. And it's got a lavender and spice and thyme kind of, and like as well as a citrus note to it. But it's quite spice driven, and I think the reason why they've gone down that path with a Johnny Smoke Porter is to give it just another layer of complexity all over again, because this does wonderful stuff on the palate as well as on the nose. Very aromatic. Yeah, that is just chocolate. Well, that's just, yeah, chocolate and like an espresso coffee, I'm talking double shot, triple shot. It's a big coffee note. So very rich. And all right, that's at a good point. Can I squeeze in a little bit more, or am I gonna have to? Nope. You're gonna go. Oh, will you look at that to the final drop? That is awesome. All right. Now, if my memory serves me right, coming from this particular distillery, so this one comes in at 50%. So it has got a higher ABV from what I can recall with the 3.0 release, which I'm pretty positive that was around the 49 mark. So a bit more ABV. Will we? Actually, I'll be curious to see how this goes, because the last release was quite. It was super tropical, and it was one that I had to, truth be told, I had to warm up to it. The initial pour wasn't the greatest. It was actually just quite flat on the nose, and it took a little bit of warming up on the palate. Once it got some airtime, it was really good, super tropical, and just had a real gorgeous mouthful on the nose. A mouthful on the nose. Man, I really need to get a drink. Had a real gorgeous mouthfeel, and yeah, the nose was stunning as well. Oh my goodness, that was well and truly in there. All right, I'll give myself a little bit of that. Now, because I've got the glass already poured and ready to roll, don't mind me, I'm going to take a pre-Boilermaker Monday photo. Consider it a live action shot whilst I'm on this, and whilst I'm giving the glass a little bit of time to air out, open up, and do its thing, because I know for a fact that it's only going to benefit from the airtime, no doubt. So, and that just looks a lot better. Right, now the moment I've all been waiting for. Let's have a nose of said whiskey. That's a cool colour. It's definitely. Okay. So you're a lot. Has that got some flavours in it? Yeah, nice. It has portions of chunk. We like portions of chunk. Chunk is good, especially when you got a chunky as all get out kind of beer that goes back with it. So it does. Yeah. It's definitely sitting between. Yeah, it's about medium strength. Like it's viscous, but yeah. See this. All right, actually. Okay. All right. So definitely, yeah. You can see where the influence from the Imperial JSPs come into party with this. Oh yeah. like there's a hint of smoke on this, which I reckon has come across from the beer because I know that gets like a note of smoke on it. Hence Johnny Smoke Porter. Just putting it out there. I actually do prefer the nose on this one better than what the last release was, and that's just straight out the bottle. And I believe at this ABV, it's going to have room to grow. Whether or not it's the swimming kind where you can add water to it, don't know. But I am not going to waste any further time. I'm hanging for a drink, so I'm going to do just that. I'm going to go. I'm going to try the beer first. I've been hanging to try this beer. Right. Let's go beer wash, whiskey rinse, and see what we get. Right, that is actually a very well behaved Imperial Johnny Smoke Porter. Yeah, right. Okay. I like it. This one's definitely a lot more approachable than what the last two were. Definitely a lot more approachable. Um, yeah, there's. I really should bear in mind that being 11.8, it's quite a few standard drinks. 4.1 standard drinks to be exact. So I've had my fair share of what the liver is supposed to take in per 24 hours. And then some. Anyway, right, so not a savoury. This one's definitely a lot more, it's rich, it's velvety, it's got a finish of smoke on the end of it, but it's very chocolate. Marshmallow, I get on that. Like, very, very, like, golden syrupy slash molasses slash, yeah, treacle. Uh, and yeah, definitely chocolate and espresso coffee there, and there's some spices finishing through on that one. So, but I really have to. Oh, okay. Now you're getting super fruity. This one before was just very decadent to start off with on the nose. So now that that's just had a bit more airtime to it, malt's coming. Yeah, the malt note's definitely coming through, and whew, okay, this is going in waves already. Okay, so this one's got a little bit more complexity about it. Right. Okay. Let's try it, shall we? Coat that palette. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Nice. Nice. When you sit the whiskey in the mid palate there and just swirl it around whilst it's still got the wash from the beer, lots of oils and malt and fruits start just playing around there. And then yeah, it just finishes off nice, just well. They really do complement each other. Really do complement each other. And that was yeah, it had definitely had fruits on the finish coming out of that beer, which coming off a Imperial JSP is kind of a big task to have like the fruits coming through afterwards. Which then again, I suppose that'll cancel out a fair bit, whether it be the like the bitterness that you'll get from this. So because it's got like the hop drive's definitely there, it's present. So and it doesn't have the rich savory notes that the previous releases did have. I know that much. So that would have cancelled out. I won't say like whatever harshness was in this glass, but just it would have really pushed it fruit forward on the finish after. So, right, I'm going to reset that, and I really need to keep an eye on the water with this particular pairing because it is a big pairing. So, whiskey wash, beer rinse, and we'll see how we do with this one. Yeah, there's definitely more complexity about it. I think this will definitely use with a bit more air time, and it's going to open right up again. Yeah, I do enjoy the nose more on this one, that's for sure. So, but I'm almost thinking that I prefer the other releases of JSP. Not to say that this is a bad one. It's a lot more approachable. Me personally, I prefer the bigger, like just full flavors. Like I remember the 2.0 was like rich pea ham soup. It was just so savory and just yeah, it had like a maple bacon about it. Yeah, the chocolate and coffee were there, but it was just you had to drink that with a fork and knife. It was just one of those beers. It was so rich, so rich. Whereas this is definitely it's mellowed, it's approachable. So right, but there's also complexity about it too. Don't get me wrong. Hmm. It's turning into one of them drams where I'm running out of volume in the lungs to keep nosing in to see what I can extract out of this. So that's a good thing. I like those whiskies because, pardon me, I've just had dinner, and that's yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, when I know that I've got one of those, it's not a oh, I can't find anything here, so I'm trying to breathe it in and trying to decipher it all. It's more like this is nice, and I want to keep going with this kind of nosing. So that's the kind of nose that I've gotten with this. Last year's release was probably more the I'm struggling to work with something here. I need I need something, and I just tapped out of tapped out of air. So yeah, very rich, chocolatey, fruity, hint of smoke. The malt note has started to dissipate a bit, and now fruits are starting to come through. A lot more velvety. I like. Right. Whiskey wash. Beer rinse. Talk to me. Mm, okay. Yep. That is definitely a lark whiskey, that's for sure. Or lark influence whiskey. I should say. So from the Bothwell distillery, yeah, that's a Nant based spirit. But that's definitely got Lark's name on it. Right. Hmm. That's where the savoury note come from. Right there. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. That's what I like. So out of that pairing, whiskey wash, beer rinse, because then this opens up a lot more. So it definitely opens up a lot more. Like the chocolate goes from like a dairy milk to like a real like a 80% dark chocolate, yeah, kind of feel to it, or 85% something real bittery and just nice drying effect. And that coffee is just yeah, that's The coffee note's definitely there. The savoury note that comes through. It's it's very rich and chewy. Very rich and chewy. So that's definitely that'll be my way to go about this particular Boilermaker pairing. Whiskey wash, beer rinse. That's the winner with this one. Overall, very good. I prefer this version to 3.0, but 2.0 was just, if you can ever get your hands on those, on that particular JSP and the Lark Wolf release number 2, do yourself a favor and do that pairing. But this is definitely fun, and I believe Wolf of the Willows have a small allocation of the 100 liter with 100 liter small allocation. Don't really go in the same sentence. Uh, Small allocation of the 100 ml and the 500 ml whiskey with either a single pack or a 4 pack, a single can or a 4 pack, and hence I also Destination Cellars is where I got this particular pairing from, because they were first off the ranks with saying we've got it, so that's where I purchased it from. I think they still have some allocations, but I know Wolf of the Willows down on the Mornington Peninsula also have a selection. Otherwise, visit the Lark website, and they all have some cans as well to go back with the whiskey. So either way, if you've got the opportunity to get your hands on it, do so. Enjoy it. Bear in mind that it's a big ABV Boilermaker, so eat well before you do so, and plenty of that. Don't be complacent. So thank you very much for following me on this particular Boilermaker. I'm wrapped that I got to open it up with you guys and girls. So stay tuned for the next episode, and I will hopefully have some good news. Actually, no. You know what? I'm not going to hold my breath on that. If I don't, I'm always going to have something else I'm going to pair up for the night. So that's but there have been some other spirits coming through. So also, you know what? Leave it with me. I'm going to sort something out for you all to hopefully enjoy. And on that note, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you for your continued support. That means the world to me and then some. So on that note, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this very large Boilermaker. And I'll bid you all a good evening, and until next week. Cheers.